Greetings everyone, and welcome. You are back here on Shredder's Gaming Itinerary. We're back in a Metroid Zero mission. Gonna go ahead and see if we can't explore a bit and find us a Chozo statue, because we're currently without direction. And I can think there's a few spots as we make our way rather cleanly, though not with shots, through this corridor, where things have been missable, which right here as a matter of fact. Gonna head on down and see if we can't find us something. Double check the map just to make sure I know where I'm going. It is easy, if you haven't played a ton of these games, to get lost even with the map or think you've made the correct turn or gone into the correct room, only to realize you need to be a level up or down. Successful finding of this Chozo statue though, and he's going to send us right down into Norfair. Let him do his thing, and then we're gonna make our way right down there. Take out all of these dudes nice and clean, only missing a few shots. Get a nice upshot on that guy, because sometimes it's important to remember that you can make those shots just to keep clearing your way and making things a little easier, which I should have probably done right there, but decided not to. Grab a few friends, let them disappear, make our way back through this room where those hives were, so you'll hopefully remember from the previous episode. And like I mentioned in the previous episode, it is going to get a little bit better. We're going to think here about heading down, but nah, we don't need to do that just yet. Head on down here. Upwards is going to be somewhere that we're going to find ourselves relatively shortly, but we need a certain upgrade to get up through that way. Make our way back through the worm room here, hopefully not taking any of these unnecessary hits. Hit this bomb wall that we were unable to complete the first time we were here fighting the worm boss. I'll take an unfortunate hit at the top there. Jumped just a bit too soon. That, as we come back into Norfair, was Mother Brain being really nosy. Mother Brain being the leader of the space pirates. Perhaps you could even say the brains of the operation, which I will see myself out for that one. Taking all those extra shots as we move through here, trying to make sure that if there's anything at that level that we'll clear through it and kill one of these fiery boys with a missile. We're going to try and execute that bomb jump I mentioned in the first episode. Not doing it very well. It's very rhythm-based here. And we finally get it. It's easy to do it wrong. Check up here just to see if there's anything going on. In every game that the Morph Ball was in with a jump feature such as that one, the timing and the rhythm are just a little bit different every single time. So if you've spent more time playing one than the other, you may very well have that happen to you. Now we're going to make our way up here into Crateria. The natural instinct would have been to continue to go to the left there as we go here, and notice that there's nothing we can do on that side. But that jump happens to be something that we can't clear completely. Samus is going to need something to help her up. And speaking of help, we could use some help in this water. Our movement being very severely hindered by it. Quick kill on that guy. But that upgrade's not going to be for quite some time. A special thing that'll make the underwater sections almost appear as if it would be in normal gravity. But the good news is we don't have any significant water sections or portions up until that point. So we're going to continue making our way up here, and I bet we missed this jump. Yep, solid bet. As we continue to explore now these Chozo ruins, you'll have noticed the blocks, such as that one, that have been inhibiting our progress. These require acquire this unknown item, which I do believe was the plasma beam. Go ahead and get all healed up here. Let the Chozo statue do its thing. You'll notice these blocks glowing with power, which means we can now destroy them. To know how exactly that works as we pick this missile upgrade up, but it does, and I'm not going to be the one to actually figure it out or question it. So, we're going to try and maybe get fancy here and bomb jump our way back up through there, but not very successfully. So we're just going to take the long way around, nothing wrong with that. We will have to wait on this block to respawn, but that's no big deal. We're going to head up and we're going to go to the left here as there are easily accessible platforms. Make our way across or down, that's fine. We're going to make our way to the left here. We're going to be getting something, of course, here to help us up out of this thing. And it's going to be what is one of the most useful upgrades in the game, the power grip. Samus can now grab onto ledges, which she could do natively in Fusion, which was released in Ep2, also for the Game Boy Advance, but not here, which I guess makes sense because the original Metroid, she didn't have that feature. That was not something that she was capable of, so I suppose then keeping that around is nice. Get that little mini training session after we pick this up here, so we're going to have to use it to get basically all the way back down into Norfair, which is always a nice feature of the Metroid games, that they do kind of force you to figure out what you're doing with that new upgrade. Use it yet again here. But yeah, I'm curious as to exactly what happens with Power Grip as we make our way down into Samus' ship. Does it just reinforce the actual hand or the arm? Is it actually like a core upgrade for like the core musculature area of the suit? I don't know. I do not know. It would be interesting to find out where exactly that actually comes from. As we make our way back to that room that we checked very first when we got into Criteria there on the left. Be dumb and attempt to get through this guy, but get slowed down by the water and take an unnecessary hit. So now that we're back down here, we're going to make this jump that we otherwise could not have, as you see there clearly. Make sure not to get hit by these fire boys, because we just don't need that in our lives. Wait on him. Take out some dudes, run into some stuff, and realize that we were just a bit gung-ho. Slow things back down again, just to make sure we're right where we want to be. And another missile upgrade. Missiles prominently featured in this game, just as they were in the '86 release of Metroid. There are more in this game. They added a lot more upgrades and expansions to your missiles, your super missiles, which didn't exist, which we'll get to those later. And health tanks. The original game actually only had 6, if I remember correctly, which is not a ton. Not a ton. I'm not sure what the actual limit is on this game. I don't think I've ever 100%ed it, which we could certainly do if you wanted to. As we make our way back, we are now on to bigger and better things. Going to keep moving along as we fail to clear that fiery boy and fall in the lava for it. Pay for our need for speed here. Ignore the save because no particular reason for it. Make this jump, which is leading to where we need to go, but as I'm sure you realized at this point, we're not going to be able to make that without the power grip. Bounce along the thing on the floor, which I don't know the name for, admittedly. If it has one. I'm sure it has one. I don't know what they call them. But going to make one of these long climbs up. Try and get through one of these floaty boys unsuccessfully. So these rooms like this are kind of interesting because you wouldn't make it without the power grip, and it's really easy to miss it and fall off. But we make this room very clean, right into the next upgrade being the ice beam. The ice beam is probably, I know I've said that about several of them, but it's one of the most useful upgrades in the game. Being able to freeze stuff, jump on enemies, as we're going to certainly do here, opens up via design just a ton of the world. We're going to double check here, make sure that's the save room, just like I think it is. The ice beam in this game, though, if you've played the original 86 Metroid, it is vastly different, not just due to the shot limit that game featured, but in the original Metroid, the ice beam froze your enemies with the first shot. The second shot unfroze them. So it basically halved your DPS, which was strange, but no such issue here, as this gentleman is going to tell us right where we need to go. Which just so happens to be right down into Kraid. Get all restored here. We're gonna go ahead and start making our way back across. Bad timing here, and missed the shot, and he's not coming back up because the cycles. We're gonna have to just go. Sometimes it'd be like that. You just gotta decide to go for it when you know that you've messed up the timing. It's one of those things that it's kind of goofy that you run into that situation. You think, oh man, I really shouldn't be getting in this spot here, but we find a cheeky missile upgrade that they just decided to throw in the wall for no real apparent reason. Gotta love it. Make sure that floaty boy stays right where we want him, and we're gonna begin our descent. Gonna end up taking a wrong turn though. Don't really want to go through that fireboy room again. Completely unnecessary at this point. And this is one of those things where, again, sometimes it really do be like that. No particular explanation for why I was unable to make that jump. It just wasn't happening. And the fiery boy comes in, has to make everything worse. But thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see all of you in the next one.